I used to wake up every Monday swearing that this is the week that I change everything. And by Wednesday, promise broken, trust gone, shame hella loud. Not because I couldn't do it, but because I was starting too big. Keeping your promises with yourself means building discipline and self-trust. And today, I want to talk about how to keep the promises you make to yourself. The reason for this is because when we make promises to ourselves, we are making a declaration or a pledge that you will do or not do something. For example, I promise I'll never talk to that guy again. I promise this will be the day that I will start eating better. I promise I'll start writing that book. But when we make promises to ourselves and then don't keep them, we are eroding what a promise is and we are devaluing our own words. And as you slowly break those promises, you break the trust in yourself as well. So today, let's start keeping our promises. First, stop making these massive declarations, especially if you are someone that's trying to rebuild self-trust from the ground up. You don't need to prove how committed you are to the world. You need to prove to you that you can keep even the smallest promises that you make to yourself. And I mean, start at that microscopic level, as tiny as you can, barely noticeable to anyone else, because that's where trust is born. That's where it's going to grow. Think of self-trust like a little snowball that is rolling downhill. At first, it's small. It's so small that it feels insignificant. But with every honest promise kept, every tiny action you follow through on, it picks up even more snow. It gets heavier. It rolls faster. And one day, you look up and you realize this tiny ball is something so massively powerful. Something that you built piece by piece when no one was watching. So instead of saying, I'm going to run every day for the next 5 weeks, just whisper to yourself, I'm going to run today. Not because you're playing small, but because you're finally being honest with yourself about what you can do right now. Small promises aren't about lowering your expectations in yourself. They're about proving to yourself over and over again that you can and are someone that you can count on. And that is where everything is going to shift. Step 2. As someone who tends to live in my imagination and dream big, this is a reminder for not just you guys, but for me as well. When it comes to promises, we need to be realistic. You wouldn't tell your best friend that you could bake her a 5-layer wedding cake for her wedding with all these intricate royal icing details when you can barely make a boxed cake. You'll only end up disappointed, convincing yourself that you'll never achieve what you want. There's an age-old saying, under-promise, over-deliver. I think that really applies to self-trust. We know we're capable of more, but starting small means accepting that we need time to get there. Step 3. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, show up for yourself consistently and deliberately. If you make a small promise to yourself, no matter how small it may seem, follow through on it without hesitation or delay. You promised you were going to take the trash out today. Do it. You promised that you were going to fold that laundry. Do it. You promised that you were going to sign up for that class. Go and do it. Not next week when it feels more convenient, not next month when you have more time, but right now, in this moment. When that little voice inside of your head whispers, we promised ourselves, pause and listen to it carefully. Pay attention to what it's trying to tell you. Each and every time that you show up and follow through on what you said you would do, that voice is going to get louder, stronger, and way more confident. And that voice is going to be the one that drives you forward, that motivates you to take the next step and the step after that, and building that momentum that with each promise that you keep. So take a moment today and ask yourself, what have I promised myself lately and haven't followed through on? Follow that train of thought and see how you can make that promise just a little bit smaller. How can you make it more realistic, and how can you show up for that promise today? When we break down our goals and promises into these smaller, more attainable steps, we create that foundation of trust with ourselves. And then we prove day by day that we are worthy of our own belief. And that's when the real change is going to start to begin. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's how-to guide on keeping your promises. If you found this helpful, go ahead and give me a little heart in the comments and let me know what promises that you are going to keep for yourself. And don't forget to tune in this Sunday. I'm going to be breaking down how to become someone that you are proud of and give away a secret ingredient to the blueprint for building your dream life. Wherever you are today, this is a reminder that small promises are not about lowering the expectations in yourself. They're actually about giving you the time and opportunity to build trust in yourself every single day. Thanks for listening, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Kisses!